Talking about who's an introvert and extrovert is old news now. But talking about the luxurious and most extravagant lifestyles of celebrity billionaires is all the rage these days. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the King of Playboys himself, Dan Bilzerian. And believe us when we say, you'll want to know more about how he spends his greens and lives his life. Whenever social media regulars hear the name Dan Bilzerian, the thought of lavishness, abundance, and enormous spending will always ring a bell to them. Hailed by so many as the Lord of Instagram, this expert poker player and all-round playboy, who's worth a colossal $199 million, has gained so much notoriety for himself as of late. His online recognition is said to be equal to that of Floyd Mayweather and DJ Steve Aoki. And every time he appears in any of his Instagram posts, he's always singing praises of his surprising riches and endless network of online followers. So you're probably all wondering, is that how can somebody like Dan Bilzerian, who was a relative nobody a couple of years ago, all of a sudden shoot up to fame like fire? He answered this question in the form of a 5-second Instagram video, and then the rest was history. While demonstrating players at a poker table with $7 million on the line, Dan wasn't present there and was shown instead in the onlookers exhibition with a female hung over him, stroking his facial hair. It was that video alone that immediately shot him to fame and allowed him to build up as a definitive playboy in recent memory. Think of Dan as a present and youthful Hugh Hefner. The imprint isn't that far off. Before the facial hair stroking video, very few had known about Bilzerian other than the universe of high-stakes poker, in spite of the fact that he had already accumulated a hefty amount from online fans. As of right now, his restricted standing as a high-stakes poker player couldn't be far from his existence, and his questionable way of life decisions continue to stand out as truly newsworthy around the world. Dan doesn't shy away with regards to playing poker. He's been known to make a periodic 8-digit wager and apparently being as cool as a cucumber. In November 2013, he posted an unsubstantiated case that he had won $10.8 million from a solitary evening of playing poker, but in another evening, he confessed to having lost $3.6 million across the board. This just goes to show you that no matter how high and mighty you praise your skills as a poker player, betting always comes with its share of dangers. Not long ago, Bilzerian, along with his organization Ignite International Brands, have been leasing a rooftop complex for almost $200,000 every month. But over the course of the previous week or so, Bilzerian and Ignite had surrendered control of the property to proprietor Don Bolin. Bilzerian is highly regarded as one of the best American poker players, even to the point of being dubbed as the king by his online social media fans. In short, most of his assets not only come from his poker profession, but from his online adventures as well. He carries on with his sumptuous way of living, where he's constantly surrounded by models, divas, wonders, and angels. But because he has a habit of flaunting his ego and his fortunes around, he's had 3 cardiovascular failures at some point in his career. Much like most American stars, Dan Bilzerian resides in Hollywood Hills. He lives in a rented multi-million-dollar chateau where he gets a magnificent view of the city. The fortune that Bilzerian has accumulated have allowed him to occupy a large pool, a few poker tables, and an enormous carport for his large collection of lavish vehicles in this gigantic manor. Among the many lavishly exorbitant vehicles that he owns includes a Lamborghini Aventador, a specially crafted Brabus G63 AMG 6x6 truck, estimating to be around $760,000, a rough terrain Polaris RZR 900, and a Bentley which was a gift from his dad. He also sports a Gulfstream 4 private jet for high elevation to celebrate with his hot diva pals. And besides fancy cars and beautiful women, the dude also has love for firearms. The numbers in Dan Bilzerian's total assets have been soaring for some time now. The first prize that he won in a competition back in 2009 was $39, and sometime after 4 years, he won a total of $10.8 million. But what most people don't seem to realize is that most of the fortune he acquired was from his father, but Dan won't share the number of that amount. Dan is quite possibly the most mainstream American poker player and Instagram sensation that walks this earth today. He has a total fan following account on Instagram of 22.2 million followers and has over 1.5 million followers on Twitter. This monstrous fan following is what contributes to his enormous cash and prevalence today. One of his most popular posts was the Dream Sports advertisement for DraftKings, which paid him over $250,000, which allowed him to win a 3-day trip with a lot of hot divas to accompany him. Long story short, he's making several thousands of dollars just with his Instagram profile. But despite having several sources of income, Dan says that most of his fortune comes from simply playing poker. In fact, he actually started playing poker when he was at school, and it was there that Dan's infatuation for betting had been given birth. Obviously, winning around $90,000 per week in poker games had far greater significance than simply going to school and studying. It just goes without saying that Dan's achievement in poker is far greater than that of any normal poker lover. But it is said that with great training and intuition, the rewards on the poker field are enormous. Today, Bilzerian lives in a safely gated domain in the remarkable Hollywood Hills, where some of his neighbors include Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert Pattinson, DJ Avicii, Johnny Depp, and Katy Perry. The house has a 270-degree panoramic view of the city and comes with a total boundlessness pool, indented family room, and different poker tables and checking machines.